So during the observation period, student teachers will also face some unique challenges. Scott, tell us about some of those.
Okay, so one challenge that student teachers might face is focusing on the learning behind the tasks that the students are presented with. Also, they might find it challenging to understand their role as a learner and as a professional whilst they are conducting observations. And additionally, I feel that students will find it challenging to access the teacher's invisible thinking and decision making, as not everything is explicit.
From your perspective, Lauren?
Well, linked to Scott's first point, focusing on the learning, do they really understand how the school's context is shaping the classroom practice? What are they doing? Why have they chosen that approach? And then to understand how age and stage influence pedagogy, the approaches are going to look different at each phase, for each age. Do they realise this? Do they know why?
Okay, so we've established those challenges. We've got some really purposeful, active strategies that mentors could use to help students overcome some of these challenges. So Lauren, you're going to tell us about the first one.
Yeah, so reverse pit stops. So in this case, the student teacher would be the one to call the pit stop first during an observation. They could ask a question, they could clarify something, why did you do that? What are your next steps going to be? It's encouraging the in-action reflection, which is something I feel they struggle with, especially to start off with. And then the teacher then will call the second pit stop and they can explain, again, their thinking. So like Scott mentioned, making it explicit to the student. They could even pose a question to the student to reflect on as well. So it's just all really about encouraging that in-action reflection.
Thank you. So these are happening live in the moment at appropriate times when they can sort of get that invisible made explicit. And we've got another one that sort of might support that invisible thinking coming to the fore. Scott, from your perspective?
Yeah, so a different strategy that mentors could try with their student teachers is to provide a live commentary during the lesson. So we don't stop and pause the lesson. We continue the lesson and have these brief moments with the student teacher as the learning is evolving in the class. Essentially, this is the student mentor modelling their thinking out loud whilst the student teacher is observing. And these can lead nicely into pit stops if they do need to take place. The biggest benefit of providing a live commentary is making decision-making explicit. So, for example, the teacher might say, I've just changed my plan because I've noticed that group of children over there need more of a challenge, or they need support to enable them to meet the success criteria. Or it could be something like, I've just asked open questions because I know that I'm trying to encourage deeper thinking with my more able learners in the class. So it then refocuses the attention of the student teacher to a specific aspect within the observation. So they're not looking at everything all of the time.
And lastly, it can be quite challenging for student teachers to know for sure that the lesson they have planned is going to work in practice. And we've got a last strategy that sort of uses observation to address some of those challenges.
So a strategy that I've used before is teach a lesson that's been planned by a student teacher. This provides them with an opportunity to see their planning in action. They get to identify the positives and the negatives in a supportive environment, and then the teacher can feed back live in the moment if any tweaks have had to be made to ensure that all of the learners are making the progress that they can within that session.
And I suppose it could be really beneficial to a student if the mentor teaches that lesson, it all goes swimmingly and can make them feel really confident about their planning. Thank you both very much.